It's been 100 days since Hamas launched a surprise attack that Israel had once dismissed as impossible and unimaginable. Overnight, Hamas released a video of 3 hostages, including Noa Argamani, who became a symbol of Hamas cruelty when she was kidnapped from a music festival and taken into Gaza on a motorcycle.
More than 100 days following Hamas's attack on Israel, more than 100 hostages unfortunately still remain in Gaza. And over the weekend, the terrorist group released new footage of 3 of those captives in what Israel is, in my belief, fairly calling psychological warfare. Now I'll explain why I agree with that take in just a moment, but first some details. In the video released by Hamas, it basically demands that Israel and the Israeli government end its siege on Gaza if they want the hostages to be returned. The hostages in the first video, almost certainly made under duress, include Noa Argamani, 26-year-old, Yossi Sarabi, and Itai Seversky. Now, it ended with the following caption saying, "Tomorrow," meaning Monday, "we will inform you of their fate." Now on Monday, another video was posted in which Argamani appears to be reading from a script and says that the 2 men had allegedly been killed. This is distressing, difficult to watch, so I want to give you guys that warning ahead of time. But with that said, here's the second video.
Hamas released video footage purporting to show the bodies of the 2 men, claiming they had been killed by Israeli airstrikes. Israel's top military spokesman denied the accusation, at least in part.
Itai was not shot by our forces. That is a Hamas lie. The building where they were being held was not a target, and it was not attacked by our forces. We didn't know exactly their locations. We don't attack a place if we know there may be hostages inside.
In her video, the young woman, Noa Argamani, described the deaths of the 2 men and said she had been wounded.
Okay, I'm glad we didn't actually show the real video, but that was information about the video itself. And I want to be clear about something. We have no confirmation about the fate of the 2 Israeli hostages. Hamas is claiming that they died in an Israeli airstrike. First of all, if they are in fact dead, you shouldn't take what Hamas is saying at face value. We don't know how they died, but we also don't know if they have actually died. There have been examples of other hostages that Hamas claimed had died in Israeli airstrikes, and when that hostage exchange happened during the humanitarian pause, one of those hostages who were presumed to be dead, because that's what Hamas was claiming, was exchanged. So there is still some hope that these individuals are still alive, but obviously this is just absolutely devastating, video for their family members to see and hear about. And Mia Shem, who was one of the hostages released in late November, has unsurprisingly said that Hamas had dictated her to say what she said in the videos that they had released of her when she was held captive. So that's something else to keep in mind. Finally, the Hostages and Missing Families Forum said on Tuesday that the videos are further proof that the hostages are in immediate mortal danger. The lives of all hostages are at the mercy of the murderous terrorists. But also keep in mind that the siege on Gaza, the aerial bombardments by the IDF, that also puts the lives of these hostages in danger as well, which is why you have family members of those hostages speaking out against this ongoing war. Cenk.
Yeah, so first of all, easy rule, don't believe anything in a hostage video. Obvious, right? So number 2, be wary of propaganda no matter which side it comes from. So we've told you about IDF propaganda before, we told you about American propaganda, Russian propaganda, Ukrainian propaganda. So is there propaganda from Hamas? Of course. So I literally don't believe a word they said. So are those people dead? I have no idea. Did Israel bomb them? No idea, there's no proof of that, nothing. The only proof actually comes from the Israeli general who said, and I read a longer version of what he said as well, where he said, well, we hit somewhere nearby. I was like, uh-oh, okay, so, and then he said in the video that you saw, we never bomb a place if there are hostages. Well, that's not true either, because you remember the 3 hostages that came out waving a white flag with no shirts on, and a message of please help us, and they murdered him. They're like, oh, sorry, we thought they were innocent Palestinians. Yep. We didn't know they were innocent Israelis. So No, you're not checking at all. So both sides do propaganda. The tape itself is obvious hostage video, obvious propaganda from Hamas.
Yeah, and look, the way that Israel is carrying out this war does not really inspire any faith that they're concerned about the lives and the fate of these, these hostages. Because again, everyone who's trapped in the Gaza Strip is dealing with the aerial bombardments, they're dealing with the airstrikes, they're dealing with the lack of fuel, lack of clean drinking water, lack of food. You now see, humanitarian aid trucks coming into the Gaza Strip and they're immediately bombarded by people who are starving. At this point, more Palestinian civilians are dying from starvation and dehydration than they are from the Israeli airstrikes, kind of giving you a sense of how dire the situation is on the ground. This is something that's impacting everyone in Gaza, humanitarian aid workers, doctors, Israeli hostages, which is why Gil Dickman, who is a family member of one of the Israeli hostages, said the following: the whole point, as they told us, of the second stage of the war, of moving in through the ground, was in order to get the hostages back, and the hostages aren't here. They forgot about us. I'm really trying to get answers and I don't really receive them because they're just telling me to wait. And that's exactly right. I mean, the hostage exchange happened during the humanitarian pause. The aerial bombardments have not gotten the hostages back. And what you keep hearing from the Israeli government over and over again in response to the family members who want their family back, they want these captives released, is no, we have to keep applying this pressure. We have to continue with the military operations to free the hostages. But none of the hostages have been freed through military operations.
But they have been killed through military operations, that's a fact.
That's true, yes.
Right? So, okay, look, last two things here. Number one, there's a difference when the health ministry says something and then Israel does their propaganda and goes, oh, that's just Hamas, man. Don't believe any of the numbers. 24,000 people are dead. The health ministry has been confirmed every single time by every human rights group on the ground. So that is not propaganda. That is actually doctors confirmed by human rights groups. But when Hamas releases a video, that is propaganda. And it's actually very obvious. And you don't get to complain about, hey, can you believe Israel's bombing us and killing some of the hostages? You have no moral high ground. You took the hostages in the first place. So why don't you just return them and then you wouldn't have that problem. But of course they're not gonna return them because they're Hamas.
Yeah.
So, and one more thing, every time Hamas takes any action or talks, it hurts the Palestinian cause. So there's 100 reasons to hate Hamas, but a huge one is because they hurt the Palestinians. Shut up. And so you took the hostages, you started this in the first place, and now, yes, Israel has committed all of these war crimes against the innocent Palestinian civilians in Gaza. But we're trying to protect those innocent people, not you. Give the hostages back, and then you could begin to talk. But of course, they're not gonna do that.
We have an update. So the kibbutz where the two men were abducted by Hamas actually put out a statement saying that they have in fact been killed, but there are no details on how they know that beyond the video that was released by Hamas. I have not watched that portion of the video, but apparently in the video they show the bodies of two men. I can't stomach it, it's absolutely disgusting, but this is what we're hearing from the kibbutz where the two men are from. So just absolute devastating update to this story.
Yeah, but again, and we want to remind you that doesn't mean that Hamas is right about how they died.
Right.
They could have died in 100
Agreed.
different ways.
Absolutely.
Including Hamas just killing them. That's another very distinct possibility.
Hey, thanks for watching that video. We really appreciate it, guys. And we appreciate it if you become members because that allows us to be independent, honest, progressive, all the things that you don't get from corporate media. And all of that is because of you guys. Hit the join button below and become one of us, become a Young Turk.